Has anyone ever told you that carrots are good for your eyesight? Well, as it turns out, there's a little bit of science behind that statement. Because you see, carrots are high in vitamin A. And vitamin A is a very important vitamin, and today we'll be diving a little bit deeper into why that is by making a dish that is high in vitamin A. Before we get started on the cooking, let's go over a little history lesson on vitamin A. So there's really a few, steps in its process of discovery. First, this guy, Frederick Golin, in 1912, found some unknown factors present in milk that were not your macros, but they were still required to aid in growth in rats. And then some years later, in 1917, these three guys were doing some research, and they discovered the same substance that this guy basically discovered in his research. And then they studied their findings, and then eventually in 1918, these accessory factors they found were determined to be fat soluble, and then in 1920 they were finally referred to what we know as vitamin A. So I bet you're wondering, what is vitamin A? Well, vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin that is an essential micronutrient and comes in two forms: preformed vitamin A and provitamin A. And preformed vitamin A is already active and is able to use as it is, but provitamin A is inactive and is basically needs to be activated by your body in order to become vitamin A. And other names for those two forms of vitamin A are retinol for preformed vitamin A, which you may have heard of that word before, and what's known as beta-carotene for provitamin A. And it's that B-carotene that makes your eyesight improve, which carrots happen to be high in that, so they're high in provitamin A, and that's where the saying. So most people in developed countries are not deficient in vitamin A, but the most common symptom of deficiency is basically the inability to see in low light, and if untreated, can lead to blindness. And to treat it, you would just supplement with vitamin A or eat foods high in the vitamin. But what is more common is an excess of the vitamin, but more so the preformed version, not so much the provitamin A version. And this can cause dizziness, nausea, headaches, or even coma or death. So it can be serious. But provitamin A, on the other hand, an excess in this is not harmful whatsoever. The only real symptom would be an orange-yellow tint in the skin, but this doesn't cause anything. And if you notice, there's an awful lot of orange in our ingredients, so maybe there's a correlation. Also, I bet you're wondering, what exactly do we all have here? Well, let's go over our sources of vitamin A. So foods abundant in vitamin A include beef liver and other organ meats, and some types of fish like salmon, which we have here today, and green leafy vegetables, as well as other green, yellow, and orange vegetables such as broccoli, carrots, and squash, and leafy greens like your spinach. And then also fruits, including cantaloupe and apricots, and we don't have mangoes, unfortunately. And dairy products, I have cheese with me, and then fortified breakfast cereals also have it as well. So we got our fortified. Before we finally get to the fun part here is vitamin A's physiological effects, which are normal vision is important for that, as well as immune system function and reproduction. And it also aids in other organ systems functions, such as the heart, kidneys, and liver. And it also can improve the quality of your skin and reduce acne as well. One last thing, disclaimer, I am not a chef, and this is not an official recipe. This is just a bunch of stuff that happens to be high in vitamin A that I threw together. So I have no idea what is going to happen when we make this, or how it's going to taste, or if it's even going to be good. But we'll find out. I'm going to start by putting all this salmon in and let that cook a little bit. spinach and toss it in. All right, so we're about done. And now, just for a finishing touch, a little bit of this fortified cereal. I guess it's like the rice in a regular stir fry, but this is a special vitamin A stir fry dish thing. I don't even know what you would call this concoction. All right, so here we go. Taste test. Let's see. I'm really interested to see what these cantaloupe pieces taste like. Still a little hot. It honestly isn't as bad as you would think, but it's not what I would choose to eat on a regular basis either. So